Welcome to Crunchy Culture, where I, Tina Sorensen, dig into the latest wellness buzz from the news and share my unfiltered thoughts and opinions that nobody asked for, because wellness doesn't have to be complicated. Join me every Tuesday for a dose of snarky humor, the latest in wellness trends, my current obsessions, and of course, a recipe or wellness tip to inspire your journey. Warning: side effects may include uncontrollable laughter, unexpected bursts of inspiration, and the urge to raid your pantry for healthier snacks. If you are loving the podcast, or even if you are just mildly entertained, excuse me, why not drop a quick rating and review on your favorite platform? It would mean the world to me and also help more wellness lovers find us, which is basically like spreading good vibes, but with less granola and more real talk. Your 5 stars are my virtual high five. Let's make it happen, people. Your feedback helps others find their way to the hive and join this wellness journey. Thanks in advance for making me feel like a podcast rock star. All right, time for my latest obsession: calling out the absolute garbage all over social media. I know I've been ranting about this for the last several episodes now, but seriously, this constant flow of misinformation is starting to feel like a bad episode of Where Did Common Sense Go? And before you tell me to just scroll past, some of these posts are so ridiculous they're practically begging to be roasted. So here's the deal. If you're out here looking for medical advice on Instagram or TikTok, maybe just don't. Do a little research from reputable sources. And I don't know, actually talk to a healthcare professional instead of social media. It is crazy that we have an epidemic of over-medicated people who are probably being prescribed the wrong medications, and a lot of this could be avoided if we just focused on diet and lifestyle before popping a pill. Yes, I know. I just keep ranting about the same shit, but it's bothering me. Let's do something about it. And no, I won't apologize, not even a little. So tell me, what do you do when you see some completely outrageous posts? Drop your stories, tips, and tag me on social media so I can check them out, because let's face it, misery loves company, especially when we're keeping it real. All right, let's dive into something stirring the pot in a major way. President Trump's first day back in office hasn't been a quiet one. Among his first moves, signing an executive order to withdraw the U.S. from the World Health Organization, or the WHO. Yep, it's like telling the WHO, it's not me, it's you. For some context, the U.S. contributes over 100 million annually to the WHO, and not the band, making us their top donor. Meanwhile, other countries, including China, contribute significantly less, even though they have way more people. It's like we're hosting a block party and they're just bringing a bag of ice. Now, I'll admit, I'm not sure completely pulling out from the WHO is the best move. Global health crises don't recognize national borders, and working together does matter. But here's where I do see the logic. Could this be a strategic move to hold other countries accountable? A bold chess piece, if you will, meant to push for more equitable contributions without actually following through on the withdrawal? Maybe this is less of a breakup and more of a we need a talk moment to negotiate a better resolution. And honestly, I think it's overdue. Why not implement a fair system, like a flat 5% contribution based on the population? Every country pitches in their fair share, and everyone benefits from a sustainable approach to global health funding. Because let's face it, the current setup, not fair in any way. And here's the kicker. While we're sending millions to the WHO, the US is the sickest nation in the world. Chronic disease rates are through the roof and our healthcare system is a disaster. It's time to focus inward. Use some of that funding here to develop innovative health solutions that actually work instead of just slapping on another band aid. Still, I get it. This executive order has people worried. Many experts are voicing concerns, especially about the timing, and that's valid. But stepping back, is this move as final as it looks? Or is it a high stakes poker play to renegotiate terms that benefit everyone more equitably? So, what do you think? Is this a brilliant strategic move to shake up the system, a, a reckless step backwards from global responsibility, or somewhere in between? As always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Let's keep this conversation going, and who knows, maybe together we can figure out the balance. Trump has also thrown a curveball, or maybe a fastball, depending on your perspective, with his picks for top health administration roles. Let's start with the headliner, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., now tapped to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. Yes, that RFK. Known for his enthusiastic takes on vaccines and public health, it's bold, I'll give him that. Then we have Brian Johnson, the biohacker who literally turned his body into a full-time job. He's famous for doing everything humanly or inhumanly possible to stop aging. Think extreme regimens and sci-fi level tech. He still finds time to be Kennedy's buddy. His new mission to make America the healthiest country in the world. Sweet. But I'm over here just trying to avoid getting kale stuck in my teeth during Zoom meetings. Next up, Jim O'Neill, Kennedy's pick for deputy, but he's got deep roots in anti-aging research. As a founding member of the SENS Research Foundation, a guy who dreams of turning wrinkles into a thing of the past. Just don't ask him for skincare tips. And rounding out the lineup, Marty Makary of Johns Hopkins fame, slated to lead the FDA. Big name, big job, big pressure. No big deal, right? Now here's the kicker. There's literally no FDA-approved drug to treat human aging because, newsflash, it's not even classified as a disease. The audacity of aging, just marching on without FDA approval. Longevity researchers are hoping that this new crew will somehow change that. Their wish list: let's fast track treatments to keep us young and spry. Because spending decades and mountains of cash on studies isn't exactly the fast lane to the fountain of youth. Jay Bhattacharya, I don't know how to say this name, so sorry. I'm completely slaughtering it. Bhattacharya, the new pick for director of the National Institute of Health, might be the guy to shake things up. He's all about studying the biology of aging instead of just focusing on age-related diseases, which is cool until you realize over 70% of NIH funding is stuck on repeat with dementia research. Important? Sure, but could we maybe fund other things too? Speaking of funding, Eric Verdin from the Buck Institute of Research on Aging thinks we should give more attention to clinical trials for drugs like metformin, a diabetes med that some biohackers are popping off label to live longer. Fun fact: my longevity regimen includes drinking more water and wondering why my hair still won't cooperate. But let me get serious-ish for a second. Why are we so fixated on reversing aging? Like, can we talk about how ridiculous it is that instead of giving people clean air, water, and food, we're out here searching for magic pills to cheat death? Aging isn't the enemy. Processed junk and environmental toxins are. Imagine if we cleaned up the literal garbage in our lives before diving into How to Live Forever playbook. Revolutionary, right? If I'm being blunt, and when am I not? I don't want to live forever. I just want to feel good while I'm alive. Is that too much to ask for? Food that doesn't come with a chemical side salad or air that doesn't double as a lung workout? Maybe let's start there and we won't need to biohack anything. Also, here's a thought. Is this push for anti aging just another way to sidestep fixing the real issues? But let's get real for a second. Is all this about actually finding the fountain of youth, or is it just one big flex? Like, are we looking at some kind of strategic chess move to push other nations to catch up, or are we trying to catch up with other nations? Or is this just a shiny distraction from what we really need to fix? Either way, I'll be over here enjoying my clean water and doing some squats, not holding my breath for a miracle pill. What do you all think? Should we double down on chasing eternal youth or refocus on helping people live well with the years they already have? Because honestly, sometimes the simplest answer, eat real food, drink clean water, breathe clean air. No, it's not sexy, but it works. It's always something we'll collectively raise our eyebrows at. All right, let's dive into a classic topic for the winter months: illness. I've got one right now. It's been going around. It happens. Here's the usual suspects: seasonal flu, COVID 19, RSV, and of course, norovirus making its grand entrance. Now, don't freak out. I covered norovirus last week. You're welcome, by the way. So let's just leave that little gem where it belongs, in the past. Now, before you start Googling end of the world treatments, let's make one thing clear. None of these viruses are usually life threatening. Yes, they are annoying, and yes, they'll make you wish you could hibernate until spring, but calm down. We've all been through this rodeo before. So let's break down how to get through it without losing our minds, shall we? So, what should we actually do? Step one, please, and I cannot stress this enough, rest. Rest is free. You might want to pretend you're invincible or like an extra in an action movie, but it's okay to take a nap. Hydrate, people. Fluids are key. No, your 3 cups of coffee don't count as hydration. As far as food goes, load up on good old vitamin C, some broth, and your trusty chicken soup. We're not reinventing the wheel here, but staying hydrated and giving your body a break is truly magic. Now, if you're still trying to soldier on and get through it without being a drama queen, seriously, no one needs to see you hacking up a storm in the grocery store. Stay home. If you can still function but feel crappy, call in a personal day and quarantine yourself with a big box of tissues and Netflix. Do us all a favor. But how do you know when it's time to play doctor? Good question. If you're suddenly gasping for breath or feel like you're trying to suck air through a drinking straw, yeah, it's time to get professional help. They don't call them healthcare providers for nothing. But if you're just experiencing the usual miserable runny nose, body aches, or a mild cough, don't panic and rush to the ER. Trust me, they're not breaking any world records with this cold. And the staff will appreciate your decision to spare them the hour spent listening to your sniffling. Also, let's talk about over sanitizing. And you know that moment when you've washed your hands so much they look like they've been in a boxing ring with a cactus? Newsflash: overwashing or excessive sanitizing can actually backfire and make you more susceptible to viruses. Go ahead, rub your hands raw, then see if they turn into an absolute breeding ground for every germ out there. It's like you're basically growing a petri dish right in your palms. So take it easy with the hand sanitizer, give your skin a chance to breathe, and stay intact. Basic hygiene, folks. Washing hands when necessary, not washing them like you're trying to cleanse yourself of all the germs ever. If you're wondering how to avoid the flu train altogether, it's basic stuff. Wash your hands. Not till they start falling off, but like you're using soap. It's not fancy new practice, it's been around for ages. Avoid touching stuff in public that probably doesn't or hasn't seen soap since the Industrial Revolution. And if you've got a chronic case of I cannot avoid human interaction, maybe think twice about your next all you can eat buffet dinner in a crowd of people hacking up a lung. We've all been here before, people, so let's just take it down a notch. Yeah, flu season's a bummer, but it's not the apocalypse. These bugs have been around longer than half of us, and we've survived the chaos they throw our way every year. No reason to lose it. We know how to get through this. Rest, hydrate, use some damn common sense, and avoid turning your body into a biology experiment with a gallon of hand sanitizer. So remember, stay calm. These illnesses aren't exactly life sentences unless you turn into that guy who thinks he's the first person to ever experience a cold. You know who I'm talking about. Here's the trick: keep a cool head, get enough rest, and go about your day with a tiny bit of grace. Sure, you'll feel gross, but it's nothing a warm blanket and a cup of tea and ignoring people for a few days won't fix. Let's face it, staying in the loop on wellness trends is basically a full-time job these days. But hey, some someone's got to do it. You're welcome for saving you the deep dive into forums that somehow spiral into a sales pitch. If you've got opinions, stumbled on anything eye roll worthy, or you just want to dish about the latest health craze, I am all ears. Drop a comment or shoot me an email. No MLM pitches, though, please. I beg of you. Don't try to sell me any crap. I'm not buying it anyway. And now, to the creme de la creme of the episode. If you want to be featured in future ones, and who doesn't, really? Send me your favorite recipes or wellness tips, and I'll be happy to share them in an upcoming episode. Bonus points if your recipe doesn't require 17 trips to the grocery store. I'm just trying to cook, not plan an expedition. This week, I want to shine a little light on something that gets brushed under the rug when the temperatures drop. Getting outside. Yes, even when it's colder than the inside of your freezer, and trust me, I'm talking from experience as a Northwoods girly. Whether it's ice fishing, snowshoeing, or a simple joy of sledding, there's no better way to keep your spirits up in the winter months. Look, I know staying warm while moving around in sub-zero temps sounds like an oxymoron, but hear me out. Moving your body outside helps boost circulation, keeps your metabolism running, and makes your body way more capable of dealing with the cold. Plus, fresh air and a touch of sunshine, yes, sunshine, even in the winter, are still magic for your mental health. It's not about being a superhero, it's just about getting out there, moving your body, and giving those cells the fresh breath of life they're desperately needing. A couple quick tips to stay warm in those frigid temperatures. Layer, layer, layer. No, seriously, we're talking about multiple layers. You're not walking on the moon. Wear a breathable base layer to wick away sweat, and don't forget thick wool socks because your toes are going to thank you later. And don't be that person who forgets their gloves and then cries into their frozen mittenless hands. Get yourself a good pair of gloves and your fingers will be as toasty as they deserve. So I challenge you to get out there, even if it's just a walk around the block. Trust me, they'll feel better afterward. And hey, if you come across a sledding hill, you know you should try it. Why? Because it's fun and it's good for you. And My hips have the bruises to prove that you should never take life too seriously anyway. Warning, may cause sudden urges to share with everyone you know. I hope you give it a try and enjoy the benefits. If you do, let me know how your experience pans out or any fun tweaks you make. Don't forget to tag me on socials so I can see your delicious results. Just don't send blurry photos. My eyeballs deserve better. And that's a wrap for today's dive into crunchy culture. I hope this episode gave you a spark of inspiration, some fresh insight, or at least a shred of motivation to tackle the day without feeling like a hot mess express. Because some days we're all just trying not to give up on ourselves. Have a wild wellness topic, recipe idea, or some bonkers news you think I should cover? Drop a comment below, tag me on socials, or shoot me an email. Let's keep this hive buzzing with your ideas. And hey, if you're all about multitasking or you just like to see the real chaos, check out the full video on YouTube, Spotify, or my website. Until next time, nurture your mind, body, and soul because no one else can do it your way. And remember, wellness is a journey with twists and turns, so embrace the ride. No GPS needed, just vibes. Stay crunchy and let's reshape our hive together.